Oh, oh, hello. I didn't see you there. Oh, piece of candy. No, seriously, I like that background. That's nice. Okay. Get the $10 IKEA chair. All right, I'm here. Where are you? Oh, I was too high up. So she said, okay. We are marching into July of 2022. Thanks for joining me. My name is Timmy. You're watching Rudy on Alpha's Investments. And we officially just crossed the midway point. Sorry, my Alpha sure got soaked. My hair is soaked. It is pouring rain here in Florida, so I had to change real quick before filming this. So got the college representing the PlayStation 1 old school Final Fantasy 7 Parasite Eve Xenogears Einhander era. Am I right, folks? Anybody? Yeah? Anybody? Diablo 1 on PS1? No, not too soon. No. Little friends become enemies? Little enemies become friends? Okay. So, I want to talk about what's going on in the state of the market. I like to gauge everything based on the re's and the r's and the r. That's how you can usually tell. You can kind of put that needle on the fear-greed index. Am I right, everybody? So, let's see here. Let's see. We are approaching the official release of Double Masters here. I know everybody's super pumped about that. Hopefully do some box openings, get that rolling here. Have a little sign-up sheet go out to patrons here on the weekend, and get ready for that next week. Super pumped to open some of those collector pack things. 4 little golden packs of Willy Wonka. Yeah, that'll be fun. That'll be our trip. Am I right? So, I guess you could always tell the overall, like, the pulse of the market. Like, when you see, like you look at 2022, we had what? Kamigawa, then Streets, then Baldur's Gate, next is Double Masters, right? So you look at, like, the first 3 sets. You look at, for 2022, we had Kamigawa, Streets, and Boulders. And the best one out of all 3 of those is obviously Kamigawa. And what's crazy is those Kamigawa collector boxes peaked, and it was like $289, including shipping, plus tax on TCG Player and eBay. Crazy, like $310 out the door for people. And the market's so bearish and negative. Even the Kamigawa collector boxes went from like 300 back to like what, 220 or something, or maybe 230 with tax and shipping. Unbelievable. Like, even the really good products are getting penalized, and that is the typical textbook definition of a bear market, where even the good items or the good stocks or the good equities or the good items are penalized because the ocean level is going down and all ships go down with it. Which is also, it's like the reserve list. Like, we haven't really done any videos in a couple weeks on the reserve list dealing with all the Baldur's Gate and Double Masters shenanigans and fiascos, but like, even the reserve list, like buy lists aren't tanking. They're not turned off like in 2020, but the overall state of them is very weak. It's just, they're shallow. Like, I've been getting so many contacts of people wanting to raise capital and sell out. And I'm like, look, I highly recommend you don't sell out. Try to stay the course and sit tight. But obviously, if you need the money to living expenses and bills and you're over leveraged, well, you don't have a choice. But selling in this current market, it's probably not going to be the best. It's probably going to be something you'll regret in the future when we enter a new phase in 2023 forward or the end of this year, and things feel more stable, and I don't know, inflation comes down and gas comes down, all that stuff. That's a hot topic nowadays. But yeah, that's how you can usually tell when, doesn't matter how good or bad it could be Baldur's Gate or it could be Kamigawa, it could be a reserve list. When you see the overall kind of the attitude, the overall kind of blah of it all, it speaks volumes. It's nowhere near like a year ago when crypto was all time high, stock market was all time high. Everything was going up. Whether it was a Magic, a new card game, a Kickstarter game, Pokemon, everything was just straight up. The free attendees era, am I right? Boy, don't we all miss those days, right? People weren't as angry. Yeah, but I guess when you're making a lot of money, it's tough to be angry. So, in 2022, it is a cruel summer that continues to march forward into July here. So my overall update and perspective is, again, I still think we're in an environment where people should be really kind of adding to positions and looking at things right now. It just blows my mind to see something like Kamigawa. Like, I'm like looking at those collector boxes and I'm like, even on TCG Player, like 210, even 230 with tax. I was like, dang, man, it's pretty good. But of course, the reason for that, Wizards did release a second little drip leftover wave. Not huge, but it was enough where, LGS has got a phone call. It's like, hey, you get 12 more boxes of Kamigawa collectors. And they're like, oh my God, something we can make money on. And people won't hate us. So they were just pumped. Like, oh my God, if I can get these things, what's my cost? 180, 170, 175? and your handling fees and credit card fee. What it's $175 for, and they can sell it for $2. They can make $20 a box. Oh, watch out, right? But anything that's profitable, whether it's a good product or bad product, is like a life vote. Life vote. It's like a lifeboat or a life vest or something in this market. So, again, we continue to see good and bad products drift lower across the board, and I still believe we're in a market where I don't see any magic products that are going to go up. I don't care if it's 2020 Ikoria Theros Throne or 2019 War of the Spark, kind of technically Throne and War. 2020 with Theros Ikoria M21 Double Masters 1. I mean, at this point, even those products, even 2021, all those sets we've been talking about, I don't see any of those really going up anytime soon. If that's something you're going to buy into, or you've been watching, now there's a lot of people that are kind of sitting back going, well, they have money, they want to buy, but they're kind of waiting to see if the world ends and how much things drop. So you got a lot of money on the sideline kind of waiting, kind of like with the stock market. But I think the healthiest, best mindset to have for everybody is just understand anything you buy. Whether you buy from your local store, Papa Bezos and the Penis Rocket Club, you buy from me, you buy from anyone in your local, wherever you are in the United States or world, just understand, most likely anything you buy from anyone is probably going to be pretty stagnant for the near term. Which again, it's okay. I don't know if you guys remember, for the longer term viewers here, on this channel in the last 6.9 years, we always talk about the goal of collectibles, at least what I would consider successful, was always between 5 and 9% a year, averaging 7% a year, to drift upwards in sealed product. That was something we had talked about for many years on this channel. Obviously in 2021, a lot of that went out the window. But I want to remind people, that is the original goal. That was what we had talked about for many years. And I think we have returned to that. Which again, it doesn't feel as good, because so many people got used to, I'm going to buy this for $300 and I'm going to flip it on eBay for $500. This is great. These 70, 80% price swings in, 30 days, that's over with. I mean, it's just not going to happen. I don't see, even the next Magic set, what, Dominaria? Is that the next one? Is Dominaria the next one? I think it's the next one. In like 60 days from now or a couple months from now. I don't think those collector boxes are going to go sky high. I don't think the draft and set are going to go sky high. I think it's going to be a normal standard set. And I think it's going to follow the normal path. And if it's a good one, the collector boxes will go up a little bit because it's more, release wave and that's it, versus the set and draft. And hopefully sometime in the near term, Wizards can get the set box situation under control. Because, I mean, you still can't even get set boxes of Kamigawa. I can't even get set boxes of Streets of Copacabana. Like, the set box situation is very frustrating because they're, like, pushing it. They want everybody to buy set boxes, but you can't even order them or get them. It's very frustrating. Anyways, but that's how we know we remain in a very weak economic situation. You can see how angry and divisive people are. You can see the frustration with LGSs in stores all over the country. You can kind of feel the kind of aggressive nature sometimes of like distribution and distributors, like, hey, what's going on? Take your product, especially when it came to the Baldur's Gate thing. And, cutting people for double masters for the Baldur's Gate and penalizing the whole thing. But that's how we're kind of swimming through that little murkiness. But I'm telling you all, it's not going to last. This is a typical normal business cycle, normal market cycle. And again, before I cut this video off, let me give you like a little summary. 2016, I came on YouTube, and that was like a flat cycle. Shadows of Innistrad came out, Eldritch Moon came out. Then we had a little uptick cycle around like Battle for Zendikar, Oath of the Gatewatch, the invention of the Expedition lottery card. We had that uptick. Kaladesh, same thing, uptick. Iconic Masters, excitement, crash, started to go on the downtick because it was just overpriced based on the release and how the market viewed the product and said the cards weren't worth enough. It was overpriced. Sound familiar, anybody? I wish I had a Baldur's Gate box. And then Masters 25 was the theme set we were waiting for, blah, blah, blah. Kind of did the same thing, came out, dropped, and everybody was like, are you kidding me again? So, and then of course, after Kaladesh and Aether, we went into the Amma and Kitty Cat, an hour of devastating your wallet and your ex-girlfriend, and, we were continuing that downtick, really accelerated. A lot of frustration, a lot of anger, a lot of stores closed down, a lot of people saying there's garbage from Wizards, this and that. We were in that downtick again. Now, after we left that, it was more stable in Ixalan and Rivals. It was still kind of on a flat and negative kind of tone and attitude with everybody. But it wasn't until we really hit Dominaria, then we moved to like the War of the Spark into like the, don't forget, Guilds of Ravnica, Ravnica Legions. When we hit that War, Guilds, Allegiance, Dominaria, post-Ixalan, we started seeing uptick again. Like that wave started to go on the uptick again. Excuse me. So moving into at the end of 2019 into 2020, of course, Godzilla, Corona, Quarantine Tangerine, Black Lotus, Can't Clean with Bleach, blah, blah, blah. We went into the Throne of Eldraine into 2020, Theros, Ikoria, and Core 21 during the summer of 2020. That was also a very negative, turbulent time. Those standard particular products, same thing. Everybody was very negative, a lot of anger out there. And we saw those 2020 products just really stumble along because there were no pre-releases, tournaments, in-person play, all this, the more modern post-2020 problems kicked in. Then, of course, towards the end of 2020, we really started to skyrocket because the government spending money machine went burr. So we really started to go from that flat, choppy 2020 to then the straight up money machine go burr 2021 era. And then as we hit towards the second half of 2021, we peaked out and we started to come back down. And we've been coming down since Q3 2021, all the way down now for about 9 to 10 months, all the way to July 1st, 2022, which is today's video. So the point of me telling you that is you can see, like the longer you're in this industry, you can see that kind of wave and that flow. And you learn to kind of ride it. And, like they always say on Wall Street, the trend is your friend until the end, around the bend. And, Chuck Norris just, your wife's boyfriend gets pretty unhappy. But it's kind of, everything we're going through is par for the course. But the thing is, I think a lot of my viewers in 2022, even a lot of the patrons that haven't been around for maybe since the previous business cycle, and maybe 2018, 19, or 3-4 years ago, they're not familiar with it. It feels new and concerning to them. And they're not used to maybe the negativity, the frustration, the price drops, the manipulation, the pumps and dumps. They're not used to the flow of a market. And right now, overall, I don't see anything, in my opinion, that really stands out from a previous market kind of fluctuation. This one's more intense, but I wouldn't say this is the sign of like, 90s baseball cards. So that's all going to zero. Rudy's mustache. I don't see anything tremendously like this is end of days. The sun actually is not coming out. Well, it is raining, so we go figure. But that's really, I wanted to kind of lay this out. Nice little information where we stand as we march into the second half of the year. I think that's really about it. I really just want to say I'm really excited for the Double Masters thing. And I still, I am, maybe it's a little bit of the gambler in me, but I still like doing the Baldur's Gate box openings. I think we're 20 out of 30 videos in by the time you watch it, so it's already 2/3 over with. I might have to sign up some more in the future, do some more. I like where it's exciting to see. Is it going to be a disaster video? Or is it going to be some ridiculously good video where the patron gets all kinds of crazy hits? Like, it makes it more fun versus, like, I don't know, what's a good example? Opening Modern Horizons 2 or Modern Horizons 1. Those things were just those things were, like, don't get me wrong, I loved opening them for them. It was fun, and hopefully we get another wave of that in the next 60 days. But, oh my god, Modern Horizons 2 is the same thing. It was like MH1. Like, every box you open, even a bad box was good, But there's something to be said about that kind of gambler's premium and doing those videos and the patrons when they like it. And they request it, and that's why we did so many. And same thing with me. When I film those, every time I go into it, it's like, all right, is it going to be a dumpster fire today? Or every once in a while, we get some that are just phenomenal. And, it does make it a little bit more exciting for a YouTube video to get those. You do a box opening that's a disaster and awful, and everyone's like, oh, God, this is, oh, God. Versus, holy crap, an actual good Baldur's Gate video. It's fun to do. It's nice to see the swings and the variance. That's kind of, we don't see a lot of that many times, especially in an era where Magic cards are printed using track printing. Magic prints with track printing, and when it's cons or a Ravnica set, you always get so many fetch lands and shock lands. It's always within a certain range, Where Baldur's Gate, no, you could get 0 of the land cycle, or you could hit like 6 of the lands. That's kind of crazy like that. So, anyways, it's I encourage people, be nice, be kind, and especially your local LGSs and everything out there, and of course, all YouTube content creators and people and everything, because, you know, a lot of frustration. A lot of LGSs are going through a lot of stuff. And unfortunately, from what I'm seeing, I don't think a lot of these LGSs are going to make it. I think we are going to, as we continue to murk through this cruel summer of 2022 on this particular business cycle, it is definitely going to hit it hard. And I'm very happy that, like, Double Masters is doing very well, and I'm hoping Dominaria does very well so that LGSs can actually make an actual decent profit on an actual Magic product. So that's nice to see. It's always very, it's very bullish, and it's very, I won't say comforting, but it's a reassuring thing for the thousands of store owners and all these places when they can actually get a product and sell it for more than a 5-10% profit margin. You know, I mean, it just kind of is what it is, you know. That's just kind of where the world we are right now. But I think that's all I got, folks. Let's see. As far as what's coming up here on the channel in the end of the month, I have the Flesh and Blood Uprising Wave 2. I know the first wave blew out. So we'll have the second 500 bundles, and limit 1. And if you already purchased, you can't buy again, because that first 700 bundles was a disaster. Sold out in 3 minutes. It was just a mess. And UFO, MetaZoo in Space. Cannot wait to show you guys the Space Astronaut Rudy card. Oh my god. So awesome. In the playmat. Oh my god. Literally to the moon kind of thing. You know, the meme. So much fun. Super excited about that. I'm gonna, like, hang one of those on a wall. It's just fun. And let's see here. And again, I gotta admit, man, I think the number one thing I'm looking forward to is probably showing you guys the MetaZoo Space, the UFO stuff, doing the Double Masters box openings. And I gotta admit, I'm actually kind of excited about a couple. There's a couple really funny white sets coming too. Like, is it okay to pick up chicks or pick up a girlfriend in a dungeon or hit on girls in a dungeon? Hilarious. There's a couple good funny sets like that. And I gotta admit, going into, I'm really curious how they do with that new Dominaria set too. And then Pokemon Go, unfortunately, just so you guys know, I am not going to be covering or selling Pokemon Go because there's no booster boxes. Usually, if a Pokemon set doesn't have, like, an actual booster box, if it's just like in supplemental products or, you know, ETBs, Elite Trainer boxes and pins and coins, and I usually can't get enough of those to run like a big patron sale to actually get like pallets worth of it. So again, it's you know, unfortunately, the Pokemon Go actual set, not the game, the actual card game version, is not available in booster boxes. I keep getting questions on that, though. So I think that's it, folks. Hope you guys are staying positive out there. Beautiful world. I know, a lot of problems. I do think we'll have I think the second half of the year will be good, though. I've been saying for a while. I know people bash me, but I'm always an optimist. I like to be positive. I like to enjoy life. And, you know, there's a lot of good things, a lot of beauty out there. Like I said, sometimes you got to put a lawn chair out there. You got to yell at cars, dig a hole, be a carrot. Sometimes you got to just stick yourself in the ground and kind of just slow down, folks, and lay off the social media. Holy cow, that Facebook, social media, Tumblr, Tinder, Backpage, Reddits, and MySpace stuff, man, that stuff was just, it'll you know, kind of just take over your brain and it'll drive you crazy. So I highly recommend all that social media, Facebooks. But it's okay. Keep watching YouTube, though, especially my videos. I get a third of a penny every time you watch. I think that's all I got. Here's a picture of my crotch. Penis? Crotch. I think. Wait. Ah!